What's going on, everybody? That's right. It's not Christian Piles coming through your ears. I'm your host today, JD Raider, and I did do the Christian Piles intro. He is still in Colorado getting some amazing content, interviews with our Olympic teams, men's freestyle, Greco, and women's freestyle. You can go check that out on our website, social medias, and our YouTube page. A lot of really good stuff in there. But today, no Christian, but I am joined by Tyler Meisinger to my left and Kozak to my left. Full show. Today we've got a Russian Defying, boycotting the boycott. We've got a 5-time world champion popping for steroids who will not be at the Olympics. USA Wrestling, new developmental coach. Olympian foes hanging out together. But first, a very special guest. The man, the myth, the legend, Jesse Mendez is on the phone with us. Jesse, how you doing, man?
How we doing? Good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, you too. So this is the first time we've chatted since you were crowned an NCAA champion back in March. I assume basically your whole life has changed and everything is just awesome now. Am I right?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, this has kind of been the goal for a while, so it doesn't really change anything because I still got goals I haven't reached yet. So it's not too much has changed. Not too much.
So some of those other goals you're talking about, I assume are, once you move past NCAA, World and Olympic champion, you were extremely close to becoming this year's 65 kg Olympian. Talk a little bit about that process, the gauntlet you went through at Olympic trials, beat some legends, but fell just short. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, that's a cool one. I mean, it stings a little bit knowing I was that close, but those are all lessons. You get better from it, and I'll definitely look back at that, and it'll fuel me because I don't think I'll stop wrestling until I'm an Olympic and world champ. So those are the goals I set out, and I'm gonna make it happen.
How do you feel about the Olympic trials schedule and process?
I mean, I think a couple things are weird. I think the sitting out in the semis is weird. I get the sitting out in the finals. I think the semis is a bit weird. I've never seen a format like that, but everything else, you're gonna have to wrestle everybody, and you're gonna have to be the best guy in the bracket. And unfortunately, I wasn't that weekend.
Yeah, you weren't just competing in the Olympic trials this year. You also recently had a fun match with an opponent who will potentially be your main opposition this year to winning back-to-back titles, Andrew Alirez. How did that match come about? Were there any hesitations in taking this match against Andrew Alirez?
Yeah, I mean, they called me on super short notice. I think it was like a week and a half. I was on kind of a break period from Olympic trials. Had been wrestling for about 2 weeks, and then kind of the weight stuff. He wanted to wrestle heavier. I wanted to just wrestle at scratch, and so yeah, we kind of had to figure that out. Ended up just going with the weight he wanted at 150, and then we kind of just made the match happen from there.
What were your kind of main takeaways from that match? That was your first time getting your hands on Alirez, correct?
Yeah, I knew he was gonna have some problems to solve. He's really hard to get a hold of. He likes posting on the head and going that swing single. So you got to be aware of that. He's super savvy in his finishes, especially freestyle, transitioning straight into the lace. So he's got a lot of stuff that you got to really be wary of. But I don't like how close the match was, and I plan on widening that gap.
We were kind of, after we watched that match, we talked about how there might be an issue with how proficient guys are with counterattacks. Is that something that is going on in your mind at all when you wrestle a guy like Andrew? Like, are you thinking I can't get stung, or are you worried about reattacks like that in that way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think we're definitely in a different period of wrestling where guys are getting a lot better with their reattacks and their counterattacks. So you kind of have to pick your shots a little bit better than you used to. I mean, you kind of see it with me, where I made jumps in my counterattacks, and by the end of the year, guys just stopped shooting on me. So I mean, you see it in my style and other guys' style. I think we're in a different period right now.
How long do you think that period will last?
Not very long. I mean, guys are going to figure out new ways to get their entry points and get to the legs. So it's just finding a better way to hand fight and get to the legs in a more effective way and to put myself at a winning position rather than shooting him, giving him an advantage.
Jesse, I'm curious, kind of going back to just like college, your college career. You didn't take a red shirt, and then we saw I saw a huge improvement in your game from, first year 133. You had to win like a bunch of overtime matches, just All American, and then winning an NCAA title. Just talk about like the difference from year one to year two for you, and what made a big difference for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaving high school, and I always have surreal confidence in myself. Like I don't go into a match thinking somebody's gonna beat me. So I mean, I was going out of high school thinking I'm going in, I'm winning a national title, true freshman, and then I get in the room and Sasso decimates me, Stieber whoops me up, and I'm like, dang, I'm not where I thought I was. And then you go through the season, and I just watch it back, and I didn't like how close the matches were. And Jaggers in my ear the second year, just like, yo, it doesn't have to be close. These matches don't have to be close. You're about as good as wrestling as you can get. You just gotta let it fly and make the match yours. And that kind of resonated with me, is that it didn't have to be close. And I think that helped me open up a little bit more and put points on the board.
Speaking on that first year, you went right away as a true freshman. If there's any other kids that are coming in to college and they feel like they're ready to go right away, maybe they're still losing in the room, would you recommend, if they're the best guy at the weight, that they go right away? Or would you say, hey, I think you should take a redshirt year and kind of develop for a year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the person. I get it a lot of people coming up to me like, man, if you would have just redshirted one of the national titles or a redshirt freshman, then you could have had a chance to be a four-timer. But would I have been as good as I am now without that freshman year? I don't know. So I feel like it depends on the guy. If you're ready to go and you feel ready, I say go for it. I feel like for me, I can't like sit and watch a whole season without wrestling. I don't know, it's just not me, and I got confidence in myself to go out and do it. So for me, it was an easy choice, but I mean, it just kind of depends on the person.
You said Jagger was in your ear telling you it doesn't have to be close. What happened? Because I feel like when you were in high school, none of your matches were close. Did that stage in the room where you're kind of getting beat up by guys, does that inhibit you a little bit? Does it make you more reluctant to get to your attacks or to open up? What was going on mentally there?
It was just one of those things where it was the hand fights. I mean, there's levels to wrestling. You see it all the time. First year into everything, you're always going to have a little bit of trouble. And it wasn't more so that I didn't want to attack. It was more so that the hand fight's a little bit squeezier. Guys are a little stronger. So it felt like I didn't have the openings to go. But then at a certain point, it's just, you have to go. And it's going to have to be 3 or 4 attacks to get to a leg in college. It's not just going to be one. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's going to take 3 or 4. And once I wrapped my head around that and just knew that I could wrestle through every position, it makes it a lot easier to go out and score.
Do you feel like the openings are still in the same places, just smaller windows, or do you feel like it's just different altogether? Like there are no openings and you just kind of have to figure it out?
I mean, there's definitely openings. There always will be. It's just a matter of you have a little bit less time and you don't really have time to like think about it. You got to go. Mm-hmm. So like I could have an underhook and somebody's clamping down on it, and the moment they let go, I have to fire off that. I can't wait another second. So it's more so you have a little bit less time. The openings are better hidden, and you just got to be able to pull the trigger. Regardless of it, the first shot's not exactly how you want it. It's going to open up a flurry, and that's how I get to score.
I remember doing a video with you. It was the summer between your senior year of high school and your freshman year of college. You went to the U.S. Open and competed at the senior level. And I remember doing an interview with Logan Stieber, your coach, and he was just talking about how high school guys, like they come in, they don't really realize that there's guys like that might be backups in a college room that could beat on like a top recruit or whatever. And then you did really good at that tournament. You came in, and I think you started doing pretty well at Ohio State right away, but you said you're getting beat up by Logan. 3 months later, we checked in with him again, and he said that he's like, I have to try with this kid, like every time I wrestle him now. What was that experience? Do you remember like a moment where it kind of clicked with you against wrestling a guy like Logan Stieber? Like, oh, this is how I wrestle this guy. Or like, what is that relationship with him like?
Yeah, Logan's my guy. But, I mean, you get in that college room and you're getting beat up, and there's two routes you could take. You could either be like, man, I guess this isn't for me, and you just are a backup guy the rest of your life, or you could do something about it. You could, put the work in, get better in these certain positions, and, you just get tougher. And, you got to wrestle every guy different. Like, I'm not going to sit on a collar tie against a guy like Stieber. He's going to make you feel dumb, and, his timing's perfect if you sit on a collar tie too long. So, I mean, you got to wrestle everybody different. But I think once I got my first takedown on Stieber, it's probably when I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere.
How long did that take?
I mean, it didn't come in a week. I maybe got my first takedown on Stieber after like 2 months, and my first takedown on Sasso after like 3. And that's just one takedown. That's probably like 200 attempts.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's definitely not easy to do.
You said you wanted to wrestle scratch weight against Alirez. Do you think 141 is your best weight? Would you ever consider moving up to 149 maybe next year? Do you think 141 is your weight and kind of sets you up the best for success at 65 kilos as well?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Olympic weights, I feel like I'm the perfect size for 65. I mean, I don't really cut much weight. I feel strong. I feel fast at 41, and I'm not cutting much. So I feel like I'm at that perfect size for 41. And I mean, you never know. Maybe I get a little bit bigger and widen out, put some muscles on, and go 49. But, as of right now, I feel like I'm the perfect size for that 41, 65 kilos.
And just talk a little bit kind of about now this rivalry that's kind of starting with Andrew. He said he's confirmed going 141, NCAA champ versus NCAA champ. I'm sure this is kind of a scenario you, as an individual, as a wrestler, are really looking forward to, that kind of high stakes, that match that a lot of people are going to be tuned into come NCAAs.
Yeah, definitely. I hope he goes 41. I welcome it. I like those rivalries. I like that he wants to beat me so bad, and I want to beat him that much more. That fuels me, and that'll only make me better and make him better. So, that's fun for the fans, and I hope we make it happen.
One last question for me before we let you go, Jesse. Just an update from or about Sammy Sasso. I know he played a huge role. You've mentioned it a little bit here in this interview, but you have in the past as well on Sammy. Just as a leader, what has he meant to you, and where is he at kind of physically right now?
Yeah, I say it all the time. Sasso kind of put me under his wing when I got on campus. I don't know what he saw, or he just thought we were like-minded, and he kind of took me under his wings. And when you see a guy in the national finals, that's somebody you gotta look at the way they walk, they talk, and they do the right things if you're in the national finals. So, that's somebody you look for with advice, and he helped me along the way a lot, whether it was woofing on me or just giving me advice. So, I credit a lot to Sasso, and he'll forever be my guy. But yeah, he's doing better. I mean, he's gonna be a hammer regardless, and I think he'll be back. I don't know if he's made a decision fully, but I mean, he's wrestling basically how he was. The guy's a hammer.
Actually, another one for you. You are a guy who, when people think of your style of wrestling, they think dog, they think scrapper. Just a guy who really has the will to win. How did you develop that? Where did that come from? And is that something you take pride in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hate losing like everybody else, but I might hate losing a little bit more. And that comes with positions and the entire match. Like, if you're gonna get a takedown on me, it better be like I better have made you work as hard as possible. And, I want to win these matches and my opponent to walk off and think they can't ever beat me. And, I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to widen the gap more. And, I want guys walking off the mat thinking they can't even beat me. It don't matter how long.
Do you think that's something you can teach, or is that something, that instinct, either you're born with it or you're not?
I mean, I don't think it's something could be taught. Like, I'm not going to be able to just talk to a kid and him be like, all right, yep, now I got it. It's something, it takes time. You got to be in the practice room working harder than everybody else. And when stuff gets tough, you got to be able to push through that. And I think that's kind of what builds that grittiness and that toughness to not give up takedowns and not lose matches.
A big topic a lot of people are talking about right now, kind of in this summer off-season period, is recruiting. The class of 2026 just had their recruiting open. What was the recruiting process like for you, and what was it about Ohio State that ultimately sold you when you were a top recruit, probably could have gone anywhere you wanted?
Yeah, I say it a lot. If I could do the recruiting process over again, I'd pick Ohio State all over. It's everything that I thought it was going to be. You could just tell with the coaches that they're authentic and they want what's best for you. And I just knew they'd make me the best wrestler possible and the best person. So, I enjoyed being around my coaches. It's not like a coach-student type of relationship. Like, I consider all of my coaches my friends, and that makes it a lot easier to come in and work hard for them because I know they care for me and I know they want what's best for me.
Speaking on recruiting, just I'm wrapping up, finishing a video where I was following Bo Bassett and Jax Forrest. It's coming out this week. What was the recruiting process like for you? Like at midnight, when midnight hit, did your phone blow up? Did you stay up till midnight? What did you keep it on silent and return calls in the morning? What was that like for you?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I just turned my phone on silent and went to bed. And then woke up early and started getting bombarded. And that's kind of a whole day thing. You're getting calls till you go to bed the next night. So that's kind of it's fun. You get to talk to a lot of people you looked up to, but after the whatever call, you're like, all right, I need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's fun. You get to talk to guys like Kerry Colott, and now you get to talk to Taylor and Stever. So there's all these guys you get to talk to that, you grew up watching. So it's cool.
That's kind of interesting just hearing, because we talked with guys like Nico Maglutis when we were out on that trip, who 10 years ago it wasn't really a thing. Then for you kind of had it on silent, and now it's like this whole event. Like guys are staying up till midnight waiting for it. So I just wanted to ask
it's definitely a cool experience that you only really get it one time. So you enjoy it and try to pick people's brains and build relationships.
On that note, talking about Bo Bassett, he's the 65 kg U20 world team member. That was your spot last year. A lot of people are looking to him to take home gold. What lessons did you learn from U20s? And if you were talking to him, what would you tell him? What would you say that he needs to know to come home with gold from that tournament?
Yeah, just don't put anybody on a pedestal.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing you are. And regardless of what country they're from or what reputation they have, it's just a wrestling match. And, the kid's got a gas tank, and these foreigners don't like that tough, gritty style. They want it a little bit more relaxed and slow paced and then fire off an attack. But if you're just in their face the whole time, they're going to feel it and they're going to break.
Was there anything surprising wrestling international guys like that?
Yeah, they definitely got their weird styles and a little bit of weird stuff, but it's wrestling. That's why I get a lot of Mendez doesn't have all this international experience. If you're good at wrestling, you're good at wrestling. It doesn't matter if I'm wrestling an Iranian or a Russian. It's wrestling. So Bassett's gonna do great. The kid's a hammer, and whoever gets him for college, whether it's us or another school, he's gonna do well. So, if you're good at wrestling, you're good at wrestling. It don't matter the country or the style. You're going to get it done.
Cool.
All right, Jesse. Well, I know you got a camp to get to. I know you're on your way right now. So we'll let you.
Where you headed?
I'm heading back to Columbus. I just ran a camp out in my hometown.
Gotcha. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
All good. Jesse, thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you wanna add before we let you get back on the road?
No, it was good hearing from you guys. Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks. Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
Of course, yeah.
Jesse Mendez, the man, the myth, the legend.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, awesome guy. Awesome family. He's been one of my favorites to watch since watching him at Who's Number One in high school. He just the way he wrestles, like I said, kind of always scrapping.
Yeah, the way he won his NCAA title, like that'll go down in history. Like
Yeah.
standing Granby for the win to the takedown is dog, right?
Yeah, and a guy who luckily I think we're gonna get to watch for quite some time. Probably another 8 years. You got to think he'll go 2 more quads.
Yeah.
I hope so.
He said he's
At
not
least.
going to retire till he wins Olympic titles.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it at the age level. He's brought home medals for Team USA, so that is not an outlandish statement or goal.
Yeah.
From him.
We did our 2028 who's going to be on the Olympic team. I think all of us said like Jesse Mendez will be right there for 65. And you look at him, he's a guy who like just keeps getting better from year to year. He made U20 team as a first year junior, and I think he went like 0-1, 1-1, and then takes 6th place at NCAAs, wins U20 World Silver, wins NCAA title. So it's like you look at him, he was already a top tier guy, but then he just keeps getting better.
Yeah,
Like
the projection.
yeah.
All right, well, let's get to some news. The opening round, kind of not really the opening round since we talked to Jesse first, but the biggest news that came out this weekend, and I believe now it is official because the Olympic entries are official. Shamil Mamedov, the Russian 65 kg rep, will probably be going to the Olympics. He is boycotting Russia's boycott. How do we feel about this?
I think it's great. I mean, this is the guy we talked about on the last show. Who you weren't trying to add an asterisk. Was Christian trying to add an asterisk? Not an asterisk, but
Christian is vehemently against.
was it you?
All
then?
asterisks.
You were the one who was saying Mamedov, like best guy. Like I don't know, you might want to.
I said he was my pick to gold.
Yeah.
So I think.
I think all of us not official picks, but all of us kind of think that he is probably the favorite, right?
I don't know if you can pick a head and shoulders favorite at 65.
You can.
He's right in the tier with
But yeah.
Yes.
Muzad,
He's in the top tier.
the best of the best at 65 for sure. And so having him out would be huge, but then having him back in after the Russian Wrestling Federation says no, we're not going to be a part of this. It feels like a big statement for him to make against the
It's
Russians.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't know what Russia, like how Russian athletes are treated or like what the politics of all that are, but from an outsider looking in, it feels like a decision I would be scared to make, like terrified even.
Yeah, I think there's a reason he was the only one
Yeah.
who accepted the bid. So yeah, I'm a little concerned, and I will also say, I will not 100% believe he's going to wrestle until I see footage of him
On the mat.
in Paris.
Yeah.
Well, if he's in Paris, I'm assuming he'll wrestle.
Got to
but-
make it to the mat.
I think you have that Mamashvili quote in there.
Yeah, I do.
who's
Mamashvili
Russia's
said,
president.
yeah, as soon as he makes his final decision, he immediately becomes a neutral athlete. So the flag is in his hands, and it is clear what kind of flag it is. I will say that is not clear. I do not know exactly what he means
Is he like?
by that.
Is he implying that if he chooses to compete, like then it's not his flag anymore? Like he's no longer Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't the Russian team going. This is Mamedov. This is the Mamedov flag,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Is kind of what he's saying there. And like I said, it also should be noted, and this quote came out after Mamedov accepted the bid. He said, as soon as he makes his final decision. So that's kind of like where I'm like, maybe he just didn't want to, maybe he's still sitting on the fence a little bit. Maybe he just didn't want to 100% say, no, I'm not accepting this bid yet. So he accepted the bid knowing he could pull out in the next couple weeks.
It might also be like political speak, trying to give him the room to back out if he wants to.
Yeah,
if
that's
he
what I'm
cares
saying.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really fascinated to see how it all plays out. I mean, I can't really think of another instance that compares to this, where you have a top tier guy who could win the Olympics, and he's put in between like making a decision of wrestling.
There's always something with Russia.
Yeah,
It's always something.
it's just like this is just the next thing. But yeah, it's I don't know. Spade's in the comments here, and he said it sounds like local Dagestanis support Mamedov, and so it's. I mean, you look at Russia is not like the United States, to where you have parts of it where it's like Dagestan is more important than Russia, right? And so it's like, okay, maybe he can just live and do his thing in Dagestan for the rest of his life, but he can't wrestle for Russia anymore. Maybe he has to transfer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the
So
at all.
Wrestling Russia, which is like a Russian wrestling Instagram, posted that he was boycotting the boycott, and I was like, I spent a while, like 20 minutes, just translating comments from Russians, and it seemed like there was like a ton of support for him. A lot of people were speaking negatively of Mamashvili, and they were, what was I going to say? They were saying that this is not a Russian, or that they were saying that this is a Russian like beef, basically a Russian boycott, and that one of the comments that translated to him, he was a Caucasian, which I don't know if it's because like
the Caucasus Mountains.
region. So it made me wonder if all the comments. It made me wonder if all the comments I was reading were from people in like Dagestan.
Well, yeah, that's where wrestling is most popular. Like, you don't see too many Russians from Moscow,
right,
or St. Petersburg competing, especially at the highest level. And it really is more so than America, kind of like Kozak was saying, where they take pride in that versus their country, Russia. Necessarily, like we've seen where Russians will go and fly the Dagestan flag around at World Championships after they win versus the Russian flag. I don't think you can do that. At the Olympics.
Well, even like it's funny following the saga and like listening to the quotes that get released from Mamashvili, because like originally we're going, like we're gonna send our athletes, we've decided, and then it's like, no, all of our athletes have agreed to decline this. We are not going. But he says if anybody wants to, it's their right to accept it. And then Mamashvili accepts it.
Mamedov.
Mamedov accepts it. And Mamashvili is still kind of like, well, if he does, the flag's in his hand and it's not the Russian one. So it's like he's kind of like talking out of both sides of his mouth for sure. So you can see the politics.
I think he's getting leaned on by higher ups in Russia, politicians, not necessarily athletes, but that's his way of also kind of sticking up for his guys and his athletes, because he was a former Olympic athlete, so he knows how much time and effort and work went into this for them, and I'm sure he wants them to compete, but it's hard when big bad politicians are leaning on you to have your guys not compete.
Yeah. So we got the question, will Mamedov and whoever corners him be banned from Russia? It's like kind of wait and see, right? like
from the whole country, there's not allowed back in the borders.
Yeah.
Like what is it banned from Russia, like the country, or compete for them ever again?
I don't know.
Find out.
I guess I don't know well enough like how they operate. I don't know.
Well, you could literally be, I don't want me or my family to ever be back in Russia. That is kind of how they operate, but I don't know if this is that high of an issue.
That's what I mean when I say I don't know how they operate. Like, I don't know how much of a priority people in Russia are making this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There is a high number of Russian refugees in France. Just saying.
There you go.
Well, look at the French team. A lot of them, their names end in Ev. But I think most of them are Chechen, though, not Dagestani. But I digress. So sounds like Mamedov will be competing, which is great for the fans. At least we get to see one Russian representing independent, neutral athletes. But like we've said in the past, there are going to be 16 Russians competing for other countries as well. So
Mamedov is young too, right? How old is he? Like
23, maybe 22.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He could wrestle for another 2 Olympic cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Another big international wrestling news. 5-time Greco world champion Rıza Kayaalp will not be at the Olympics due to a WADA infraction. I'm not exactly sure what he tested positive for, or if he missed a test or didn't. I don't know exactly what all the circumstances surrounding his suspension are, but as of July 2024, he is serving suspension, so he will not be at the Olympics, which basically secures Mijan Lopez as the favorite to win heavyweight. If he wasn't your pick already, this was the main opposition to Mijan.
Yeah, Iran's got one guy. Actually, they have two guys, but only one can wrestle at the Olympics. Who actually beat Rıza in the past year. So that's like maybe the only other guy. But Rıza is the guy who's beaten him before and 5-time world champ and all that stuff. So yeah, this is huge in Greco world.
If you're Mijan, are you just like, hell yeah, I got my 5th gold Olympic medal?
I think if you're
I think
Mijan, you're always like that, right?
Yeah.
I think the thing for Mijan too was him versus Father Time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily him versus
Right.
Rıza. Like, it seems like he wouldn't. If he was gonna lose to Rıza, he would also lose to somebody else in the field, potentially.
Right.
Maybe not, but that's kind of how I view it. But I kind of hope Mijan does it. Mijan's the man.
That'd be sick.
How big?
Didn't you interview him at Pan Am's?
I did. Yeah.
You got it translated?
He said he'll still dance if he wins his 5th one. I'm just hoping we get the signature Mijan Lopez crotch chop.
Oh my God.
Salsa to the crotch chop. We should have, I guess it wasn't a Fargo celebration, but we recently posted like the best Fargo dance celebrations. That's #1 best Olympic celebration, dance or not. But if we're going dance celebration, that is for sure #1 in Rio.
Uh-huh.
Jaden Cox was named the USA Wrestling Developmental Coach. This is a position that has been open for a little bit. How do we feel about this hire from USA Wrestling?
I think it's great. Jaden, in talking to guys at Michigan who've been around him for the last few years, he's always like pulling guys aside, even guys that aren't around his weight class. I feel like he's always talking to guys about how they can improve. And Lucas Davison pointed to Jaden as a big part of his development at Michigan. So I think that he's already, even when he wasn't in a coaching role, he was already looking at how he could help guys get better. And so I'm really interested to see how he does in this position and how much he enjoys it.
And he seems like a guy who will be in this role long term. When you see a lot of these college coaches, I don't want to say they go into it thinking it's a placeholder position for a year or two to where they can get back on a college staff, but Jaden seems like a guy who will give his all into this and be there for the long haul.
And he lived in Colorado Springs for a long time too, so I don't know if he is excited to be back or whatever it is. I'm sure if he's going back, he probably enjoyed his time there. So
and Jaden is KJ's guy, and this was KJ's role for a long time. So I'm sure he'll get some good guidance from KJ, who did a great job in this position as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jaden. I mean, obviously he's going to be positive about it, but we got his quote up. He says, I was overjoyed, overcome with emotion. Being able to find this opportunity was overwhelming. So it's like, oh man, it's cool to see him. He was one of the best. I mean, one of the best American wrestlers on the freestyle side of things. And then for him to be able to transition over into coaching on USA Wrestling side is pretty cool. You do kind of wonder like how Jaden is such a unique wrestler. You know, the things that he was able to do. You wonder, you know, what is the transition going to be like to coaching, you know, for him. But it seems like I heard some interviews. I listened to a few since he got the position. I was like, oh, you know, I want to hear Jaden, you know, talk about technique. And there's one interview where he really was like breaking down how he thought about defensive wrestling, which is like really unique. And he's like, I just think about it like I'm opening up doors or closing doors that I want people to walk through. And like, it's like just like the different ways like he was talking about. I was like, oh man, this guy, he really does think like deeply about technique and about, you know, how he's his defense, you know, especially. So I think that'll be really cool. My question is with this position is like, man, why has it been one that we haven't had somebody in for a long time since KJ, you know, right? We saw Metcalf in it for a minute,
It was pre-KJ, I think.
Which is
wasn't it?
pre-KJ, and then James Green was in it for a year,
2 years, 1 year.
Yeah, so it's like, is Jaden going to be here for a long time, or will it just be like a stop to something else? Because I think we always say is like, man, this seems like a really cool position in coaching and wrestling. So
Yeah, like I said, I think he'll be in it for the long haul, and I think he'll do a good job. I'm hoping anyway. So
I'm surprised that that it has had a hard time like locking guys down, just because I feel like if you're in that position, you don't have to recruit. Like you don't have to. It feels like the ideal position for someone that just wants to be like around wrestling and coach wrestling and just show technique, whatever, speak to the mindset of kids. So I feel like it's perfect for Jaden.
Yeah, plus, you inherit the best in the country at their age level and travel the world and win some world titles. So I think he'll do a great job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in that role. Next, we're going to get to a draft. We pre-recorded this one last week so we could get Christian involved and get his picks while he is still in Colorado so he can continue his losing streak. Couldn't let him go a week without losing a draft. So, Josh, if you can pull that up for us. All right. Today we are drafting the guy you don't want to be on a wrestling team. The don't be that guy draft. A bit of a fun one, kind of open-ended, but we're going to get into it. David Bray, hit us with the draft order.
All right, I hit the random number generator, but I'm not putting it on my screen because
Secure.
this is safe and secure. Number 1, JD, you're going first, and then CP and Tyler. That's the order for Don't Be That Guy.
Okay.
I'm second again. I feel like it either goes this way or this way every time. I'm excited for this. I feel like I could go 10 deep on this. My experience as a high school wrestling coach has given me an incredible edge here. I believe, at least in my own mind, I'm so excited for this.
Okay.
All right. With my first overall pick, round 1, pick 1, the doesn't shower guy. He's stinky. He's dirty. You got to shower. You're bringing in skin diseases onto the mat and onto the team. So my 1-1, don't be the guy that doesn't shower.
Yeah, I had toxic knee pad on here. It feels like that's kind of in a similar vein.
Yeah.
There's that guy.
I probably would have counted that one as a different one because you can shower and still have a toxic knee pad.
That's true. Clean guy, toxic knee pad.
If you just never wash that knee pad.
It's different. I'm saying toxic knee pad. I'm putting it out there. I'm not going to use that one.
Okay.
I think I got better ones. Okay. I kind of named a lot of mine too. It's a little more than just describing it. So.
Well, it has to fit on a graphic.
That's what what
Okay.
You put like real names like this guy, you never showered.
I'm just going to use the names of the kids. Ryan Piles.
Put him on blast.
No. Okay. So the first one I'm going to do, this does drive me nuts. The Boo Boo Crew. These dudes.
I said hurt, always hurt, never injured.
Boo Boo Crew. They always find like a different injury every time, or they milk one injury. It's always things that are like not super, like you can't actually check it, or like, it's like, how do you verify that this doesn't hurt or whatever? You just don't want to practice. I know it. You know it. You don't want to be here. Drives me crazy.
They somehow get a walking boot for a sprain.
Yeah.
It's obviously not broken because it's not showing up, but it just hurts. So give me that boot.
They go to Rite Aid. They get the
wrist brace.
The wrist brace. Or they show up and they just sit there with ice on their legs. It drove me nuts because you just freaking know, but you can't say, in this day and age, But for real.
It was on my list.
Oh, yeah, the Boo Boo Crew.
Hurt or injured?
Hurt or injured. Always. Barely hurt. This is barely hurt. They're not hurt. They just don't want to practice, which it's fine, but it's like, why do you come here? No, it's fine. I'm glad they did. I knew it. This is just my initial frustration, and then I don't voice anything. I never got to voice this in totality, so I'm just venting.
I knew a kid once.
This is just a vent session for Chris.
Yeah.
I knew a kid once who wanted to get out of practicing, and I think maybe he just didn't want to make weight one week so bad that he found a kid who had ringworm and like rubbed his body against the ringworm because he wanted ringworm.
Oof.
Did it work?
Just psycho. I don't remember if it worked or not.
Man.
Because that guy could actually go places. That's that's dedication right there.
Super dedicated to not being dedicated.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the old saying, like, if you just would try hard at your studies instead of as hard as you try to cheat,
Yeah.
just be smart.
Yep.
I might cry if mine doesn't make it back, but we'll see.
I really didn't like the guys. Oh man, there's a few. I don't like the guys who rep like the wrestling goofball shirts, like the hold my headgear while I kiss your girlfriend
Top
shirt.
10 reasons to date a wrestler.
Yeah, top 10 reasons to date a wrestler. The best site on a
That was
basketball
actually
floor.
a draft idea I had was top wrestling T-shirts.
I don't know many other than the ones we said. I love the top 10 reasons to not date a wrestler is so funny to me because it's like a freshman where like you don't date anyone. You haven't done any of these things. What are you talking about, bro?
Nah, hold my head here while I kiss your girlfriend.
That's goated.
See, don't be that.
That's
guy.
kind of awesome though. Like,
Don't be
I
that.
mean, now, ironically, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's come back
You see
around.
like a 6-year-old wearing that, you're like,
He's got a good cow catcher.
yeah.
I'm going to go my next one. I'm going to say.
Done too?
This is a second.
Okay.
Go my second.
Okay.
Relax.
I thought. Oh yeah, I was thinking of your ringworm story.
Pump the brakes.
You were probably that guy. You literally have ringworm right now.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's dead now. It's dead now.
Yeah. What are you trying to get
It's
out?
still
of?
there.
Whatever, dude.
I'm not gonna rub my face on your face right now.
Don't even ask.
That's not what you said. No, whatever. That's not what your mom said. Okay.
Wow.
What a delay.
Wow. I'm gonna go with. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, this one. At my high school. I don't know about your guys. Wrestling was a PE class, so
Wow.
That sounds
counted,
awesome.
It counted towards. You had a 2-year PE requirement at my
yeah.
high school, so you had to. If you were on the wrestling team, like you had to go. Like it was one of your classes, 6th period, and then practice usually like ended longer too. But because of that, when guys showed up underprepared, they still had to like participate.
Mm-hmm.
So my least favorite was guys who would forget their wrestling shorts and then have to just wrestle in their like khaki pants.
I said the guy who's always forgetting / has to borrow.
Yeah. So that was like actually way more common than it should have been at a school where a lot of kids at my school were doing wrestling just to get the PE credit. So we had like 100 guys on our roster and we had to separate to like the freshman room. That was the room that like no one cared in.
Yeah.
You'd see so many guys just like wrestling in jeans.
It's hilarious. Like you had that many kids and you still do that versus my high school where we had like 15
Yeah.
on the team, but we all got clothes and they would do our laundry for us because we realized high school kids are disgusting and we're not gonna be passing skin diseases around.
Dude, I mean,
That's a good
And
one.
stank.
you're just describing John Cena because
Yeah.
Jorts.
he's wrestling in jean shorts, cargo shorts.
With the little hammer loop.
Yeah.
Imagine getting your thumb in the hammer loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
That's not good.
Bum, 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 bum.
That is a really good one. Yeah, I remember now. I didn't even think about that one, but I had just boxes of clothes that I just like had a lot of shirts and shorts and like would just accumulate all this stuff just so that to get out. And
Or the guy, I think this is a Tats show, but who forgot his singlet to the tournament or the
Oh,
duel,
yeah.
so he would have to
Oh
borrow.
my God,
You'd have to
yeah.
get off the mat, and you had to be like about the same size.
Yeah.
You had to give them their
Gross,
singlet.
sweaty singlet.
Yeah, or shoes. Shoes that even happened before too, where
I brought-
a
yeah.
kid would just forget his wrestling shoes.
we had a duffel bag that was full of like a couple singlets, couple headgear, a couple ranges of shoes. Because this happened every tournament. They're gonna forget. You got to get out in front of it because it's gonna happen. Okay, mine made it back. I don't know if this is gonna resonate or not, but it does for me. The food table fiends. These are the dudes. It's mostly the 6-pounders that go 0-2, but it's also it can be anyone, the newer guys. Once they're eliminated, and it happens quick, they camp out at the food table and they eat all the good stuff immediately. And all the people that are going to actually have to have food they're inconsiderate, and the moms don't police it well
No
enough.
PB&J's left.
I mean, the Buffalo Gap food room was crazy. Our food didn't make sense for competition, but it was so good. It was like biscuits and gravy and all these great pastas and stuff, but it didn't matter. But anyways, those guys would just literally hang out in the food room or by the table and eat all the good stuff. It's like, oh, where'd the fruit pizzas go? Dustin ate them all.
Dustin.
I'm gonna beat Dustin up.
Drove me crazy. He's the only guy I remember winning he was our 6-pounder. He won a fight in the wrestling room. Beat up our 20-pounder.
All right.
Good luck.
My second pick is the kid who can't drill or spar. They don't have it in them. They just want to wrestle live all the time. They're 0 or 100, basically. They're stiff. A lot of times it's the skinny guys who are really sharp. You don't want to drill with them. They're cutting you up with their elbows and their hip bones. Just the guy you don't want to drill and spar with.
Yeah.
The worst. You get put with them for a practice. It's like,
I had a few like that all kind of fit together. Like the guys that steal reps, the guys that don't react hard enough or react too hard. Like it's all kind of falls under that.
Yeah. I just put live 24/7. That was my name for it. Just like that's just all they're doing. Like, right, you get a single, he gets no. You're not finishing this single if he's got anything to say about it.
right.
Yeah. The rep stealer. I feel like the rep stealer, that's more of a high level wrestling room type of behavior. That's a really focused person.
Yeah.
Really wants. The people I've heard about, they're like really good wrestlers. I've heard about some guys that like don't let you get any rep ever.
No, my second one.
No,
Oh,
we were making a joke that I was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not that
yeah.
guy.
With my last pick, I'm going to go
This is gonna be so hard for me.
to
I have one that I hope you guys don't.
I'm going to go to a scenario. Gets pinned when you're winning by 5.
Oh,
Man.
Duel's on the line. You're up by 5. Kid gets pinned.
Yeah.
It's tough because, that's a lot of times out of your control, really. You're just outmatched, but you really don't want to be that guy.
I'm really glad you didn't take mine, which was gets pinned while up by 6. So I'm glad that's coming back around to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's kind of like lat drops always on the table guy. Where like no matter what the tactic is, like he's got one and he's gonna try it, whether he's up, whether he's down. He's gonna try to send it. That's definitely a good guy. So I got a couple, but there can only be one, right?
We'll get to some honorable mentions. I've got a lot of honorable mentions as well.
I only have like one left, so I hope you don't take it.
No one likes the weight snitch.
Good call.
Yeah.
No one wants. Don't be that guy. He's 6 over. Let him handle that. He's 6 over. Let him handle that. Let the coach handle that. Don't be the weight snitch. That's your problem.
Snitches
And the
get
weight snitches rarely are the high contributors too. In my experience, that's just how they think they're helping. It's like, hey coach, he was 7 over. It's like we'll handle that. Bad vibes to be the weight snitch.
Bad vibes.
Don't do it.
I will say we had a guy on my college team. I'm not going to name drop, but if you're listening and on the UNK wrestling team, you know who this is. But he was a contributor, but just terrible with his weight. Very undisciplined, terrible diet. And he was basically assigned a babysitter to make sure he was always on target. And he would routinely also lie about his weight to the coaches.
2 over.
So it would have to be, hey, what did blank actually weigh?
You know
Like,
what?
you got to watch him step on the scale. You can't just take his word for it.
Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah. He's making a little Caesar's
McDonald's.
throne.
The funniest thing that it happened like all the time, and they never learned it. So the kids think if you we give it a specific number, it's more believable. But the kids would always give a number with a decimal that was odd, and the scales, almost all of them,
We're only even.
only even. So like, I was like, "What'd you weigh?" It's
What
like
scales do you have that only have even numbers?
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty common.
very common.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I
Not in the heart of America.
am I
where JD
tripping
and I
where
are
you
from.
just step on a digital scale and it tells you your exact
I have
weight?
a Tanita that's evens. Here nor there. It's a thing.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay on topic. There's mini scales, digital scales, that do not give the odd. And they'd be like, 133.7. It's like, no, you weren't. Don't lie. It's like, now I know you're lying. Now
Caught
you're
in a
just,
bold-faced lie.
yeah, that's like a self-snitch, and they don't even realize it.
Self-report. All right, mine is you don't want guys that are bad. I have an official title for this, but you don't want guys that are just gonna make wrestlers look goofy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so
No
This-
dorks on this team. No dorks
this-
on Tyler's team.
this one
No dweebs.
is a specific thing that guys do to make wrestlers look goofy. It's public stance in motion.
Okay.
I hate when you go to the gym, you see the guy
Oh,
You're just a
yeah.
coward.
Doing
I'll bust into some stance and
public stance in motion. You look ridiculous. Quit doing it. I don't like it.
Dude, I got a story about that.
Okay, tell me.
I can't use all the words, but I was visiting my grandma for Christmas in high school one time, and it was like there's no wrestling in that town, so I couldn't go to a practice or anything. So I like went for a run, and then I'm on like dirt roads, middle of nowhere, and I've like headphones on, and I'm doing stance in motion like out on this dirt road, and
That's okay. You're in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
Dirt road.
But this guy drives up in a pickup, probably another like a local farmer, and he's like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's, just out here, going for a run or
you're
whatever."
grinding.
And he goes, "Okay." He's like, "I saw you over there, and I thought you were some kind of like mentally handicapped person." I was like, no, sorry, man. Just
If you don't know what it is, it does look quite weird.
Yeah.
That's kind of similar to the wears wrestling shoes at the public gym, or
yeah.
or in my high school. I remember there was a kid who, bless his heart, bought a new pair of Adidas, and he did not realize they were wrestling shoes. And some kids were like, Brian, man, why are you wearing wrestling shoes? Just casual. What are you? These aren't wrestling shoes.
There was a kid who wasn't on our team that would wear wrestling school.
Yeah, this kid
shoes to
didn't.
School.
This kid didn't wrestling. He finally comes, JD, are these wrestling shoes? Yeah, Brian, they are. He stuck it out though. Kept wearing those Adidas.
Was that the whole draft?
That was 3 for all of
Were you
us.
in honorable mentions?
Yeah, honorable mentions.
My top honorable mention was the too loud on the bus or van.
I have 2 bus ones. Yeah.
Yeah, just especially on the way there, a little more tolerable on the way back after a duel or a tournament, unless maybe it's a tough loss. But the guy, when you're cutting weight and he's just way too much energy, way too loud, and it's like, hey, let me get this nap in or let me chill out.
You know what he always brings to the table? That same guy always has a bag of chips or something he's eating on the way because he's.
Yeah, that's a good one. The guy who's eating.
I have bus eaters.
He's
Yeah,
on the Boo
bus
Boo
eaters.
crew.
I have bus eaters and I have bus toxifiers. These are the dudes. It's a cold one, so you got to have the windows up, and they start letting them fall.
Oh, yeah.
You can blow up a bus quick, and you always kind of know who it is.
But at the same time,
But also you can't prove it unless they're.
I would have loved to see what image JD would have used if you used that in your draft.
Yeah.
same time though, farts are funny. Farts are always funny.
At a point, it can be, but at a certain point, it just smells terrible on here. And imagine an hour and a half ride. It's not going to leave quickly.
It's true.
So that's one. I have, so there's a lot of bus hijinks for sure.
I have an honorable
want one?
mention. It's beef with basketball players.
oh, okay.
I think it's so stupid when wrestlers just like always want to compare wrestling to basketball and like why do they get all the attention and we don't, or they like talk trash to basketball players or whatever. I think it's goofy.
I think you're goofy. It just drive me crazy when there'd be like a pep rally for the basketball team that's going to like the opening round of districts that everyone qualifies to, and then you got kids that like win states and do that, and it's like,
I get.
Don't
what
be a
you're saying.
hardo about it.
yeah,
Don't be a hardo about it. But I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I had always complaining, just constantly about anything and everything. Just wait, practice, just be good vibes guy.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
No.
All right, I can't believe this one didn't get said. The tornado practice.
The headgear.
You got to practice
Yeah.
with a
Tearing you
tornado
up.
guy. Your face, you're gonna look like Max Murin on day 3 of. You wrestle that guy. Cliff Keen makes the best headgear, bar none, no doubt about it. The Cliff Keen signature, which we have proudly
We
displayed.
got them everywhere. Yeah.
You go tornado, you're in for a storm, brother. That's pain.
Yeah.
That's pain.
Or anything that has
mean,
too
honestly-
much Velcro.
You're selling it better. Like you feel the need to like say that Cliff Keen makes the best headgear, but like the fact that the tornado does cut up other people as well. Reason
that
why
in
some people
practice.
like to
I
rep it.
don't disagree. I've actually thought that when like Dake was wearing it and Imar, I was like, dude, this could revolutionize the headgear game because this is an advantage. Just some of the things you can, it's a good headgear.
What about the guys that don't take the skin diseases seriously whatsoever? You guys ever been around them?
They just believe
Yeah.
it and think that works.
They've got yeah, or they
pretend that
That's kind of 1A, 1B with the doesn't shower guy.
Kinda, yeah.
Some guys keep it a secret.
yeah, they keep it a secret. They're wrestling with it, and you're like, wait, what? Like, dude, you're putting your whole team.
They have
in
a little
jeopardy.
tape, and you're like, "What's taped up?" You're like, "Oh, no."
Oh wait. Oh, you got a forearm you needed to tape up. What is that? Yeah. There was one guy on our team. I remember there was a guy on our team in college who got MRSA. He had to go in the hospital.
Oh my god.
So bad, right? And his roommate, who JD knows, his roommate were like, "Hey man, you're gonna have to like help him out, like get some stuff from the room, get it ready, whatever." So we go into the dorm room to pick up his stuff from his roommate, and we're like, wait a minute, you've been sleeping in your roommate's bed, the MRSA bed, and he's like, I didn't want to climb all the way up on the top bunk. Oh my! He's got MRSA. You're going to be in the hospital right next to him if you don't stop doing that. Like,
Oh my god.
that was the worst
There's
one.
no top bunks in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Funny story, kind of the reverse of that about the guy who doesn't hide it. One time in high school, we had a teammate who got a hickey from a girl he did not want people knowing he received a hickey from.
So he pretended.
So he put a bandage on his neck and claimed he had ringworm. We were like, yeah, let's see it. And obviously just like wouldn't turn. He's like, get out of here. It's just ringworm. Leave me alone.
Wow. That's a good one. What a beast. He can wear the shirt. He
Yeah.
can wear the top 10 reasons to date a wrestler shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, hold my headgear
in.
while I kiss your girlfriend.
Yeah, the Boo Boo crew, there was at the thing I was at. This kid, he said he hurt his ankle. And he's literally walking around completely normal. And he comes up to me. He's like, hey, I don't know what to do. He's like, I hurt my ankle. I don't want to like risk make a worse injury just for a wrestling camp. He's like, what do you think I should do? And like, I knew he's just walking around completely normal. I was like, I would do anything I could possibly do to get on the mat right now. That's literally what I just look at him. I just like
All's in your court.
totally flat face. Like, you're not getting an out from me. Like, that's what I would do if I were you. I'd do anything possible to get on the mat. He's like, all right. He did not talk to me again in that camp. And he did not wrestle again in that camp. He just boo-boo crewed the rest of it. It's like, you spent a week here. Like, he could have got so much
That's the crazy
better.
thing is getting sent to a wrestling camp that your parents paid a ton of money for and being in Boo Boo Crew.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, but a lot of times those kids don't want to be there. It's
Yeah,
their
they get
parents
sent
sending them
away, yeah.
there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
money's not real to them.
Yeah. Money is not real. That's like
Just in general.
in
to
high
you.
school. In high school, there's like
Oh.
you really don't have much of a concept.
Yeah, it's hard to have a
of
concept.
it. I think I have some others, but keep going.
Yeah, my this is a kind of a more specific of the guy that's always complaining. The guy that is always talking about cutting weight who doesn't actually really cut weight.
Bro, that's good. You should have drafted that. That
is such a
that
good
is
one.
Such a
Guy,
good one.
I'm 0.2 over.
Dude,
Like,
breathe out.
yeah. Or I don't know if I can eat all of that sandwich. Gotta make weight Thursday.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Stolen weight cut valor.
Yeah, stolen weight cut valor.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because like a lot of kids in high school, like they think it's cool. Like they want to talk to their classmates about the fact that they're cutting weight. Like they want to bring it
Yeah.
up. So,
They don't want to actually do it.
Or the guy that makes it very known that he is.
oh, I'm in such a
yeah.
bad mood. Don't even talk to me. I
Yeah.
have to cut weight right now.
Like, yeah, someone even just says a food. They're like, can you not, dude?
Yeah.
The super dramatic
dude?
weight cutter.
Really, dude? You're gonna drink water right next to me in class right now? That's crazy.
You're gonna chew gum.
I have to weigh in 5 days. I haven't had water in 3. Are
Yeah.
you kidding? Like,
Ridiculous.
That's also the same guy that's spitting in a water cup.
Yes.
I can't believe I didn't draft this one. The kid the kid who left on weight shows up 3 over and says they ate nothing, drank nothing the night before. I was like, what did you eat? Nothing. No, coach, I didn't have anything. I didn't have water, anything. And then
That's not possible.
And then there's a separate one that's impossible, and it's like they think they're gonna trick me. And then there's also the ones that, in a similar vein, don't realize that water has weight.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
No calories.
All I had was water.
I just had 3 bottles of water. I was like, well, that was 3 pounds, and that's how much you're over.
That there were it's shocking how many kids are like that. That just think water will weigh nothing.
Just drink water.
Yeah.
It's like carry a gallon of water. It has weight. That's a good one.
I had the guy who makes you restart a drill. A lot of times this is like, hey, we're doing, planks, and if one guy drops, you got to restart the time or something like that. Or in college, it's more like, hey, we got to get under this time, run around the track or something like that. Like,
It just gets progressively harder.
yeah. So
You know who I just thought of who probably would have been like really high on my list if I was doing this was the what if guy during technique.
Oh my gosh.
Coach is showing this thing. He's like, well, yeah, but what if he does this? You're like, well, okay, but like, what if he does this? Well, yeah, what if he does?
That's
Like,
not the scenario we're drilling.
yeah,
right
we're
now.
drilling this move. We're drilling this scenario. Yeah, but like, what if he?
But what if he like somersaults and like grabs your ankle?
Yeah, but like, what if he cradles me? Like, what if I'm trying this and then he pins me?
They don't always know, but they try to like, here, I'll show you. What if he? And then they start doing this offshoot demonstration in the middle of the mat. It's like wrestling's infinite.
And that guy is often the same guy as my dad told it to me this way guy. It's like, like, well, what if it? Well, I don't know, because my dad, like, like, well, all right, buddy.
kind of that. Ben Askren would probably say you want a curious kid, though.
Yeah, but I just remember, like, I was really fortunate to be in Colorado Springs, so we'd have these guys that would, like, we'd have, like, Lincoln McElravy would come into practice and he's showing technique and yeah, but like, what if,
yeah, Logan Paul's. That happens too. That happens. It's crazy when they don't even realize that they're challenging. Like,
Well, some kids just want to be like, just want attention. They just want to like feel like listened to by the guy. They think that it'll make them like look smart or something.
yeah, and the see it one more time guy. They're just trying to. They're just trying.
To not work.
They're just trying to push back the drill 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're trying to do. Most of them, not all of them. I don't want to. Okay. The crazy Selly kid, the kid that just goes nuts. It's just like imagine the worst match you've ever watched.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good vibes guy, though. Kind of a good vibes guy.
But it's just like it's kind of embarrassing. Like, relax, bro. He's like jumping way too much in the air. It was an exhibition after the duel. But you understand that it meant a lot to him. But it's just like, as far as like, Tyler would hate this guy because anything that makes him look less cool, he resents. But yeah, that guy, the crazy
man.
Selly.
we had when I was coaching, we had a guy, he hadn't won a match all year. And it's the last open. It's his last opportunity. He's wrestling 41, I think. And there's this kid who's been wrestling 25 all year for this JUCO. And he rolls up at 41. And he's also like not winning any matches. And we're like, wait a minute, this might be the one. Like, this might be the guy, the time our kid finally gets a win. And sure enough, he wins like a 11-10, just a terrible
Junker.
sloppy match. Yeah. And he just goes nuts. Just acts like he just won NCAAs. And we're like, man,
Hell yeah.
we got to get off the mat.
Yeah, they're on their knees. Like, what my last one that I have written down is just he was strong. Just every time a guy, he was so strong. I just like that's the least of your problems in this situation. They just get pinned immediately.
There's also the guy kind of like that terrible gas tank, and you just like know it's coming when you're watching. Like it's a tied match. He's probably winning by 1 or 2, and you're just like, he's gonna lose this match. All right, well, I think we did it.
Wow,
That was the don't be.
fun.
that was very fun.
That was a fun one. The don't be that guy draft. So now back to us in real time, live in the studio. I'm sure another victory for me.
Okay.
Mhm. Please continue to send in what you would like to see us draft next and punishments for the overall
Well, here's
draft
the thing.
season loser.
The Christian is going to be the loser.
And that's what matters.
And that's what matters, but he has also stated that he does not agree to a punishment. So we have to get him on that train.
Well, we can lean on him.
Okay.
We need our fans to lean on him. We should do it. You should have to buzz your head if you lose.
Okay. No risk. No risk for you or I.
Exactly.
That would actually be pretty funny. Imagine. He used to rock a buzz cut, didn't he?
I think like 7 years ago, I think when he like first started at Flow, he had real
Bring it
short hair.
back. How attached to his hair is he, do we think?
I think pretty attached.
He's a pretty vain guy, so no, I'm just kidding.
Just roast
Just
Christian for the
rip
last
on
20
Christian.
minutes of the show.
While he's not here to
Yeah.
defend himself. Yeah, so please send in more suggestions to FRL submissions at flowsports.tv, and we will continue to keep doing those. But to wrap up the show today, we got some questions from our friends, Tyler.
We do. I have one question that kind of leads into the next.
Okay.
They're both from the same guy. from the Real Slink on Twitter. Would Aaron Brooks have won heavyweight this year? And then he followed it up with, would every 4-time NCAA champ have won the weight above them their senior year?
Would Brooks have won heavyweight NCAAs or Olympic trials?
I'm sure they mean NCAAs because in the following he's talking about would every 4-timer have won the weight above them?
I'm going to say no. Aaron Brooks would not have won.
He'd have to beat his teammate.
That's right. Kirkfleet, who is quite a bit larger
Yes.
than him. Some of these, we'll run through them maybe really quick, but there's a big difference between bumping up like 8 pounds and, say, 40 or 50 pounds.
Here's the thing, though. He said in his most recent interview with Christian that he could probably get up to 220 without much problem. If he's weighing 220,
now it's a conversation.
it'd be a match.
Yeah, it's definitely a match. It's definitely a match. I have nothing to say about that because it's such a hypothetical. I don't know.
Tyler doesn't like our friends and their questions.
No, I mean, I was going to try to comment on like what the match would look like, but I don't even know. Like how does Aaron overwhelms everyone with his hand fight. Can he do that to a guy 20 pounds bigger than him? Honestly, maybe.
Maybe like after a handful of minutes, but maybe not. I mean, it's going to be harder to wear on a guy that's that much bigger than you, and he's going to be wearing on you more than you're used to as well.
He does a lot of low-level attacks where he's collecting ankles.
Going under a big guy.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a proficient finisher too, though, without having to go under guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know what? I think that it's worth imagining, but I will not tell you what I.
I'm sure we could see in the Penn State room. I'm sure they work out together. We're gonna have to speed run this. So it's gonna take too long to get into every one. But
go ahead.
The 4-time NCAA champs, could they win the weight above? I went through, did the homework this morning. 1990, Pat Smith versus Dan St. John. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll say Pat Smith could have won.
Well, no, he asked their senior year.
Oh, their senior year.
So it would be Pat Smith versus Mark Branch.
This was the year Mark Branch came in with like basically a 500 record or losing record and was unseeded and won NCAAs. But he was super hot at the NCAAs.
He was hot.
I'll say no, though, because shaky tree year, and this was Pat Smith's last year. Next, 2002, Cale Sanderson versus the heavyweight champ that year, Tommy Rowlands.
I have no idea. You tell me.
I mean, he's Cale, but Tommy was really good. I'll stick with Tommy.
He was a world teamer, right there to make Olympic teams, I think, as well. Man, didn't he beat Mako, some other heavyweight legends? I feel like the size is going to be a thing, but man, I don't know. How do you pick against Cale?
Also, would you be that surprised if Kirkfleet came out and was like, yeah, Cale beats me up in the room every day? Like, I feel like that's just something that every Penn State wrestler says, too. So
Also, remember, Cale was losing to Lee Fullhart after this. So, he's not, like, I know he's 159-0 in college. A little different, but that's still, like, a data point that he wasn't untouchable.
Yeah.
The guy's even his own weight on the senior level. So, I think I'll go Tommy in a one match. Tommy was really good. 2013, Kyle Dake versus Chris Perry.
Kyle Dake is a guy who I'm just like pretty confident in because he went up every year. Like he did it. And then he even went up to 86 kilos and beat Jaden Cox, took a match from him, and he was like severely undersized. So I would pick Kyle Dake.
Kyle Dake's got X Factor winner.
Yeah.
Like, he just wins.
I kind of like looking at the Kyle Dake every year because you got Dake Metcalf.
He's not winning. I don't think he's winning that one.
Dake
Freshman Kyle Dake
Jenkins.
is not beating 2010.
I don't think so either.
No way.
But Dake loses every hypothetical matchup. So it's like, I
True.
don't know, maybe. But yeah, nobody's probably picking it.
I feel like he would probably beat Bubba Jenkins in 2011 just because that was the year Bubba pinned David Taylor, obviously. And I think if David Taylor and Bubba wrestled a couple more times, he's probably not getting that cradle every time. And I don't see a scenario where Bubba Jenkins pins Kyle Dake in a cradle.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though. And then 2012 was Kyle Dake. Would have been Kyle Dake versus David Taylor. Obviously, we know the answer to that one. Logan Sieber was the next 4-timer. In 2015, it would have been Logan Sieber versus Drake Howdeschelt at 149. Gotta go Stieber.
Pretty good about Stieber. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one you probably feel good about. 2023, Yanni versus Austin O'Connor was your 157-pound champ.
My gut says Yanni. Just because
Austin O'Connor was really good that
yeah,
year.
he was really good. But also, Austin was a 49-pounder. He won it the year Yanni was gone. I don't know. Yanni is also not like a small 49-pounder. Like, what are they? Are they
like he wasn't
bumping
as
up
big.
and weighing in at the next
in
weight?
this hypothetical scenario, we'll give him some time to kind of grow up. But yeah, they gotta move up in weight. That's what makes it tough. Or else
The folk style match, like who beats Yanni in folk style matches? Like almost no one ever.
Jaden
Austin
Ironman
Gomez and Jaden
I know. I'm saying 3 times it happened.
Yeah.
Twice, right?
Twice
Just
now.
twice.
Twice it happened.
Yeah, he did have some really close ones. I don't think like freshman year Yanni, but Yanni got quite a bit better from 2018 to 2023.
Like, let's say it was a practice room go, Yanni versus Austin. It's not an official match. It's just like, all right, they're at the same practice, like they're wrestling with each other. Who would you expect to do better?
I mean, Yanni's got more accolades. I'd probably go Yanni.
It's just what my gut tells me.
But 157 is a big weight for Yanni,
For sure.
especially, a couple years ago. Aaron Brooks versus Greg Kirkfleet. We already talked about that one. And then the last one, Carter Storace versus Parker Kekaisen. Will we get to see it this
We
year?
could see it this year. Yeah.
Again, I would pick Carter, I think. Same kind of thing as Cal Dake. He's just a winner. Not that Parker isn't. He won the national title
feel
this
like
year.
He's
but-
also not undersized at
Right.
all.
Parker's the one guy. If Carter is injured, like he was at NCAAs, I feel like Parker's the one guy who really could have tested him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would have loved to see it. But
When is the match happening? Is it happening as soon as they win their titles that same day? Or is it happening a week later?
It's happening later. You give him because in my head the champ wasn't going to weigh in at a lower weight class and then wrestle the other guy up at a disadvantage. It was, hey, if they had to bump up on short notice, could they beat him?
On short notice, or like they're still holding. See that there's a lot of factors at play here.
you're just thinking about it too much.
I'm thinking about it too much. In the middle of the season, they still have to hold their weight down and make their weight class another time. But after the NCAA championships, they don't have to make weight again for a long time. They could get huge in a week. I'm just saying.
Correct, that's part of it. Are they big for their weight class?
So that's different from short notice, though. I don't want to get too into the weeds because I feel like I'm being annoying, but there's a lot to think about here.
Okay, quick rapid fires, same day, short notice, a full season to move up. Carter versus Parker.
Same day short. Say that again. What did you just say?
I mean, 3 answers. Same day. So in your first scenario,
They won. So they
wins?
just won.
who wins? Just say a name. Who wins?
Parker.
Okay. Short notice, so like a month. Who wins?
Carter.
Carter, yeah.
And then so season you'd go Carter as well.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
It would be fun to do like an all-star after the season, like postseason, and do those matchups. Not that it probably would ever happen because then you go right into freestyle or whatever.
And people wouldn't take it as serious.
Right. Yeah.
But imagine if they did.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Just indulge him for a second, James. All right. Do we have more questions? Let me check. Well, this is, I guess it's kind of on the same note, but it is technically a different question from @EyesOnGold on Twitter. Which NCAA ranked number 1 has the best chance of winning the weight class above them?
I will say Carter, maybe. Carter moving up to 197, or maybe
What is he
Alirez
ranked
moving
at
up to
right now? Is
149.
he ranked at 197?
Well, right now he's ranked at 197.
So you would be picking him to win heavy.
Okay. But we feel like maybe he's going 184. No, not 197 like he originally said.
If he was at 84, what would he be ranked? Let me ask the two of you.
Number 1.
You'd put him above Parker, even though Parker's a returning NCAA champ?
Yeah. Carter's pound for pound number 1. So
4-time champ.
4-time champ.
A lot less losses than Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, for sure. He'd be number 1. 74 is interesting though right now. You got Keegan O'Toole versus Parker Kekaisen.
Ooh.
AWA boys.
I would still go Parker.
Yeah, I think Keegan's too small to move all the way up to 184.
Yeah. And then at 65 you got Mitchell versus Keegan.
I would probably favor Keegan
Mm-hmm.
in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean that was
More experience right now.
Sad we didn't get that at NCAAs this past year.
49. Caleb Henson, Ja'Cory Teamer. We got Ja'Cory Teamer ranked number 1 right now at 157.
I would pick Ja'Cory.
You pick Ja'Cory?
Yeah, I think I would too. Yeah, I would go to Corey. Not with a lot of confidence though.
What about the next one below?
41. You got Andrew Alirez versus Caleb Henson.
Alirez is ranked above Jesse.
Yeah, the year he won it, he was undefeated.
Okay.
Jesse lost to Cole Matthews and Bo Bartlett last year. That's kind of.
I could see Alirez. I think that would be my answer. The number one with the best chance of winning the weight above them would be Andrew Alirez.
Who's ever at 141.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Yeah, that's it.
So, thank you all for tuning in. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch.
Got Fargo.
We got
What about
Fargo
Fargo?
coming up. Yep, I'm wearing the Iowa shirt today. I had to put on for my state.
Are you guys leaving tomorrow?
Yes.
You leave tomorrow.
I
You
leave
leaving with me
tomorrow.
on Monday?
Monday. Yep.
So I will be calling in Monday, our next show from Fargo, North Dakota.
I won't be on the show because I'll be flying to Fargo.
There you go. Koza, give us a quick schedule
Yeah.
of Fargo.
Quick Fargo schedule. We got women's freestyle starting us off Saturday and Sunday, both age groups. And then Monday, men's freestyle goes both age groups all the way through Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday's beach day.
Whew.
So it's a little break.
Beach. Let's go to the beach.
And then
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Greco. So schedule's on the site. Schedule is also on your screen right now if you're watching on the YouTube. So yeah, Fargo's awesome. I'm kind of excited for it. We haven't had live wrestling, right? So it's kind of exciting to have it back again.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of been hypothetical matchups, Olympic talk, which is fun. But we get live wrestling. It's back. It's beautiful.
Actual wrestling starts Saturday. Please tune in, and please tune in Monday when we return. Thanks. See you then.
Oh, you just want to end it like that?
Yes.
I wanted to keep going.
Too bad.
Okay, bye.